Now that I've cleaned up the point cloud, it's time to bring it into MeshLab. Spoiler, I didn't end up using MeshLab for my final point cloud transformation into a mesh. But if we import the mesh here, I have the points_cleaned.ply that I got out of the other point cloud program. I have my cleaned points here. The first step to creating my mesh is to go into the filters, where I want to apply normals onto each of the points. What this does is it tells the points, or it assumes which way is out for the points. Click on the compute normals for point sets function and use the default options. What this does is now whenever I scroll around the image, if a point is facing towards me, it will be light, and if a point is facing away from me, then it will be dark. After this, I can then once again go to filters and then remeshing simplification, and then go to surface reconstruction with ball pivoting. I've found that a size of about 4 is optimal, and here we can see the mesh created. This mesh has many defects, as you can see by holes here and points facing the wrong way on the outside. This dark color on the bottom means that it thinks that those points are pointing outwards. If I tried to 3D print this mesh, it would be very upset at me because of these holes, and it's not a continuous model. To help solve this, I tried going to a few different programs. The next attempt that I gave was in Blender, where I did basically the same steps, and then I attempted to manually draw in the rest of the triangles over here, which wasn't quite worth it. I finally settled on Cloud Compare, the same program that I used to remove the extra points from the image. Here we can see my point cloud. If I select the point cloud and then subsample it, selecting with a minimum space of 1 between the points, I can simplify the mesh down to remove some of the chaos within it. I'm then going to assign normals onto the points, just like I did in MeshLab. You do that through Edit, Normals, Compute, where I'm going to once again use the default options. Similar to MeshLab, now when the points are facing towards me, they'll be light, and when they're facing away from me, they'll be dark. I've noticed that this program's normal function is much more reliable than the one in MeshLab, so that when I mesh it, right here, using again the default options, I get a mesh that is a good approximation of the pipes that I'm expecting without all of the holes in the geometry. I do have, at points, a small floating section here, which I think is because of the scan that I took was a little bit unreliable on this side because I had dropped my LiDAR mount and broke it in half. But this scan is very reminiscent of the pipes that I'm trying to create. So I took this into Prusa Slicer, where I'm going to slice it for my Prusa Mini 3D printer, and I will be giving this model to Dr. Mitchell. Thank you for watching.